Hello, welcome to an adventure motorcycling video. Before we go any further, I'm going to break the ice a little bit. I'm going to introduce one of my favourite jokes. Who's this? Who is it? It's me. Anyway, back to serious adventure motorcycling business. Recently, the wife and I travelled from Alaska, a place called Dead Horse, all the way to Tierra del Fuego, which is in Argentina. We travelled through 15 different countries. It was 29,500 miles long, and that's 44,000 kilometres. Along the way, we made lots of great videos, which are on our website, bootsboatsandbikes.co.uk, and quite a few people have asked us what we did to prepare for the trip, what our highlights were, what they should take, and that sort of thing. So these videos that we're preparing, they'll be useful for you to refer to so you can plan the trip of a lifetime. Do give us feedback along the way as well. Let us know what you think, let us know what you took, let us know what your highlights were, and yeah, enjoy. Thank you. So, why are you going on your trip, and who are you going with? These are important questions so you can establish the basics of your trip, really. I mean, travelling with other people is comforting, is very convenient, and it is a bit daunting going through a few countries. So the fact that Ivanka and I travelled together was superb. It made things a lot easier because two strong-minded people, working together with all the different challenges day to day, it really did work for us. If you're travelling with other people, you've got to ask yourself, how well do you know them? If it's a big trip, have you been on a recce with them before? Have you been away with them for a week? What are they like as people? But when we say travelling with people as well, there's also people that you meet along the way. Do you want to become part of a group? How will that make you feel? Quite often it's quite nice to travel on your own. So, you can dip into travelling with other people in and out sort of thing. Ask yourself why you're going as well. I mean, are you going to have a sabbatical? Are you trying to escape from your current world? Are you raising money for charity? Do you want your 15 minutes of fame? So, ask yourself all these questions and then plan the trip accordingly, really. Answering specific countries you want to go to as well, I mean, that's down to personal choice. North America is quite an easy country to go through. It's a modern world there. Central America is a little bit more gritty, more challenging, lots more to see. South America is an amazing spectrum of lots of different countries, lots of different climates. This is me speaking very personally about the trip we've just done. But you might want to go into Europe, you might want to go through Eastern Europe, you might want to go through Indonesia, you might want to go through Russia to the Road of Bones, which is something that I'd like to do next. So you've got to think to yourself, well, how much time have I got? What countries can I make it through? What are the cultures going to be like? How challenging are the conditions going to be? What are the roads going to be like? What are your visa requirements? But we'll go on to that a little bit more later. Cheers. This is a really big question. Where do you want to go? The world is a very big place, as we all know, and you can decide how fast or slow you want to go, depending on how much time you've got. The only great piece of advice I would offer is take your time. There are many people that we met doing top to bottom of the world, and a few people were doing it in half the time that we were doing it in, and I'd say that they passed through countries without seeing what was around. They didn't experience the cultures. They didn't relax like we did. I mean, we took 10 months and we thought that was ample time. We worked out how we were going to travel for those countries because we looked at seasons as well. So these are very, very important. We started in Alaska when it was the spring, and then we basically headed south and just followed the sun, really. We did hit bad weather here and there, but I think it would have been a lot worse if we didn't prepare things that way. Looking at countries as well, there are many that we would have liked to have gone to. We didn't get to other parts of the world. I think you've got to basically break down your trip into sensible timescales And if you've got a year or 2 or 3, I mean, we met some people that have been on the road for 3 years. They'd done overland from Australia all the way to Europe, then flew their bikes over to North America. Some people just have a very enviable amount of time off. But yeah, you've got to ask yourself, well, how much time have I got? And what can you achieve in those timescales, really? Security was a massive thing for me personally before I left for North America. You just sat at home, you've got a date in the diary, you've planned to ship your bike, and you're just thinking, what's going to happen when I'm in North America, what's going to happen in Central America, what's going to happen in Mexico, am I going to be safe, and will the Argentinians like me because I'm British, that sort of thing. But the fact of the matter is, everywhere is safe out there, as long as you're sensible, We had a few rules whereby we'd always be off the road by 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, particularly when we were up against it, when it was getting dark at night. So as long as you stick to a few simple rules and you always look for information on travel sites, check out what's going on with your various consulates, have a look at local news. And we're not just talking about people and security, but also about weather conditions. We experienced landslides in Guatemala, and we decided that we had to stay put for a week because there was rain all over the place. There were roads that were washed out. There were a few roads that we came across where we had to have police escorts, but these were few and far between. Parking your bike at night as well. I mean, I was very paranoid about parking the bike. I always chained it up with one chain and a disc lock, and I got it indoors where I could in certain countries. But the thing is, if your bike goes missing, then the trip's over, really. So I used to, lock it at night. Occasionally, I used to wander around at night whilst everyone else was asleep, and just check the bike was okay. But having done the trip now and looking back on things, you do get into a certain mindset where you never leave your bike for too long. You will lock it. You listen to what people say when you meet them on the road. And that this is very, very important, really. Ask people all the time, can I do this, can I do that, is this area safe? And you'll get to know a lot of things that way. But it's like being in, we're from Brighton in England. Brighton can be dodgy if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time. So just be sensible. Look for those hotels, look for those campsites, get off the road, set off early in the mornings, and you'll be absolutely fine. So if I could offer 5 top tips to motorcyclists preparing to go away, and these are my top 5. Firstly, I'd recommend getting one of these. This is it's called a Spot, and while we went away, we were wanting to keep in touch with our family and friends and that sort of thing. What this device actually does is, at the end of each day, it sends a message to a satellite, and it tells a satellite where you are within 6 feet of your location. And so what happens is your location is transmitted to their base control, and then it sends out emails to your friends and family, and it indicates precisely where you are. So that's a really, really nice tool, so you didn't have to keep getting in touch with people. What the Spot also does as well is, if you were to come off your bike and have a serious accident or a very serious accident, you can actually press the transmitter, and it will send international medical rescue to you. So that was very reassuring, knowing that that was available if we needed it. So the Spot is highly recommended by ourselves. One thing that we also did is we carried 2 or 3 different purses with us. I had a purse or a wallet, Ivanka had a purse, and then we had another one within the bike somewhere. So what we did is we actually spread our credit cards and our money all around the bike and all around our clothing. We actually packed our money within our clothing as well. So you've got your pads on your motorbike, jacket. Within there, there'd be a couple of $100 or something like that. So if ever you did need money and it was an emergency, then you always had it spread around you. Anyway, we never had to use an emergency purse. We never had to use emergency money, but it was just something that we decided to do just in case. anyone did try to pull a fast one on us. Learn how to pick your bike up. I think that's a great top tip. We travelled on a BMW GS Adventure, the 2003 model, and fully loaded with fuel with Artos cells. It must have been about 350 kilos. So very, very heavy. So we went camping the weekend before, well, a couple of weekends before we left for the trip, and I had a couple of my mates with me, and we all enjoyed a barbecue while they watched me pick up my bike on my own. And you know, it is achievable. There are videos on YouTube as to how to pick up your bike as well. So yeah, learn how to do that, and yeah, that's a good top tip. Have a very, very good tent. We had a tent which was quite remarkable, really. Whilst we're in North America, it rained and it rained and it rained and it rained, and you know, we were kept very dry. One of the things that our tent allowed us to do also was it had an inner that you could pack under the waterproof sheet of the tent. So if it was raining outside, you could pack the whole of the tent and not get anything wet, and then you could just pack the outer on its own afterwards. So yeah, that was a very, very good tent. So choose your tent wisely. Think about space. Think about weight. But it's got to be durable enough to last the job. And then lastly, we started off without a sat nav. We travelled through Alaska and North America without a sat nav. However, when we got to Canada, we were recommended highly to get ourselves a sat nav by a guy that had done the trip a couple of years previously. The benefits of having a sat nav are when you're in Central and South America, you can pinpoint exactly where you want to go to get into a town or out of a town, and it's just nice having that peace of mind knowing that you can follow the navigation on the sat nav and it will lead you to where you want to go. There were times, obviously, when the sat nav did really steer us in the wrong direction, so you've got to use a bit of common sense with a bit of a map, and yeah, just use it wisely, really. So these are our 5 top tips, and if I can think of any more, then I'll let you know. Cheers.